Hey there! You clicked on this video, which means you're just as curious as me. Those same exact Pokemon bootleg games, which I'm sure you've seen clips of on YouTube, in advertisements that popped up once and never again while you were cheating, or in niche internet corners like Reddit, for this video, have popped up in my sight time and time again, but never enough to fully grasp my attention until the moment I saw this and just had to know how even an atom of it still exists after Nintendo in some shape or form has undoubtedly seen this. So while using this video as an excuse for myself to learn about how ripoffs like this still even exist after all these years, if/how they somehow get worse than what's already seen, and if they play like a Pokemon game in the first place, or even play at all. I hope you'll join me and get some answers for yourself along the way too. Like how any good stumbling upon hidden gems, or complete mobile slop, get used to that word, usually happens, I wanted to start first with Android's Play Store to see if they're still as publicly available as I remember. Of course, in no more than 10 seconds I stumble upon the first game, that's probably the one you've seen ads for recently, while having the most downloads out of all the ones featured today. While after a short amount, I find another that even steals official assets for the game's screenshots, if the games themselves weren't a shocker enough already, and a third one that I'm almost certain uses AI for its marketing too. Bodes well for their quality, Nonetheless, after taking a while for all the games to install, I wanted to go in the order of least to most downloaded, which meant that I started with the 10k downloads Idol Monster Arise. Though I suspect it's just been taken down and re-uploaded multiple times, as the top review suggests. I'll get to why these games keep appearing and never truly disappearing later, but for now, I immediately get greeted with the expected element of reworked or straight up stolen Pokemon models / assets. After making an account that I'll use for the last and first time to finally jump into the game, getting instantly overwhelmed with options, buttons, confusing UI, and do this exact thing or you'll die type of tutorial wasn't less annoying despite clearly expecting it. Quickly noticing that this is an idle game, if the name didn't tell that already, Retro, like what the fuck are you doing? The amount of mechanics or features you see can easily be found in many other idle mobile games, so my suspicions of it being just a game that follows some idle game template, but this time having a Pokemon skin over it, got my suspicions confirmed, and a few pennies moreover. Moving on from slandering a game that has the level of quality that we expected, the main gameplay loop can be boiled down to getting random chances to catch new Pokemon, or for the most part get new Pokemon from gacha pulls, or building them if you have enough shards, put them in a specific order or format to get random boosts, and watch the battles play out themselves. Same going for resource collecting while you just lay back. Hence the name, Idle Game. Sure, I can see you finding some enjoyment from a game like this if you only have a mobile phone and want to play some other Pokemon game besides the already wacky themselves options like Magikarp Jump or Smile, or if you're that type of dopamine addict that gets their hit by seeing numbers go up and constantly getting free shit. But personally, I had some fun with the goofy graphics, poor grammar, and general lack of polish that was some giggle-worthy entertainment for half an hour. Though half an hour was all I gave it, since after a moment the zany-looking custom Pokemon and overload of constant free items just got boring. hence me never really playing other actual quality in terms of mobile games. Idle games you usually can find. But speaking of quality, let's move on to the second game before the main course that you'll want to see as the final game. Yeah, I didn't really say that the game was high quality. After some quick improvising and downloading the 2.5-second game, if that's how you pronounce it, opening and being forced to make yet another account later, well, day 2 time. I log back on and maintenance is finally over. So let's see if it's as sloppy as it seemed in the Play Store screenshots. So, BDSP is the foundation for a bootleg Chinese mobile game ripoff? Huh, looks like someone actually found a reason for the game existing. Well, most likely ripped the game and all its assets via Unity, since BDSP was made using it, and reworked it to be a game that now has gacha and all the other usual mobile game mechanics in it now too. For example, the ever so beloved tradition of making the game play itself. I never got the hype of having your input in games anyways. However, it turns out that the bootleg features the first 4 regions while you start in Kanto, which is kinda pretty cool, but I believe that they created all of this themselves, less than we getting Gen 1 to 3 games collection on the Switch next week. Back to the game, you start off with the option of picking any starter ever, which is always appreciated. Then in that same time frame, we also see that the gameplay is the same as the official Pokemon games. You may start to think, wait, a Pokemon game with 4 regions? And it also has a full national dex? BDSP might finally be redeemed. Just like I initially did. Don't tell me a mobile game actually has better following mechanics than BDSP and any modern game. But a few seconds later, it all starts to fall apart when you see that they got lost in the sauce by making movement auto only, limiting the levels to the player's level, overloading you with side quests, usual gacha system slop, and so on. But hey, at least I had some fun by using Lechonk for a few minutes, until getting almost demolished by a level 25 Caterpie and Weedle trainer in the first route, and getting bored soon afterwards. Not recommending this, and that doesn't imply that I'm recommending any of these or the last one in the first place. Or am I? No, I'm not. But you would be correct about starting to talk about the last game, because that's exactly what's happening. Seemingly using Pokemon Sword and Shield as its base template, unlike the previous generic idle game template, or definitely not stolen BDSP code examples, the first tutorial instantly confirms my suspicions about being the one that I've seen clips of before, because goddamn, some of those animations go kind of hard for no reason. Continuing on after the battle, the tutorial still continues on for a good few minutes, while forcing you to do exactly as it says, which doesn't make it hard to decide which one of these is the most faithful to the original games now. However, the gameplay structure seems to be borrowed from Raid Shadow Legends of all things, with it having set chapters and goofy upgrade methods for the Pokemon, similar to how it is there. Few more minutes of seeing some cool animations, funny translations, or random things later, I weirdly get excited to taste and see how the gacha/greedy pay-to-win elements work in this game, which starts off with a simple login screen. And that ended up taking up the most of my playtime. Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, simple refresh and even go through some extra options. That surely does it, right? Like, I mean, look, it actually went to the other screen. Surely that fixes it, right? Wait, why isn't the video shifting away from... You know what? I think I'm done talking smack about BDSP. Maybe it ain't so bad, especially compared with the display's trash placeholders we saw today. Hell, maybe if we would give it a second, we could see that it could even be one of the best Pokemon games, like how the discussion about Sword and Shield being one of the... Yeah, I'll stop you right there, little bro. I think it's better if we just move on. So, we've had our fun with some funny bootleg mobile Pokemon games. But one question still remains unanswered. How are they even allowed... No, allowed is pushing it. How are they able to remain so publicly available and rake in money with an IP that's under the company that'll hunt your entire bloodline for the rest of eternity if you ever do so much as sneeze in a way that sounds like Mario? Like, for example, Wahoo! Well, you probably have suspected at some point during the duration of this video, either by poor translation, developer name /info, or just straight up having that language's text in it. Most, if not all, of these ripoffs are made by people living in or making them by proxy in China to get a quick buck. Despite the laws about IPs and not being able to use them without the correct permissions or rights still being similar to how it is in the rest of the world, the main difference comes down to how much they actually enforce it in their own country, while not even speaking about how little they care about other countries' copyright in comparison. Same going for companies outside the country suing inwards. Most of the time, bootlegs like these just stay within China, so to us, we probably see them on a much smaller scale than the actual amount that exists. Of course, mainline Pokemon games not having any Chinese translations up until Sun and Moon, yeah, like, learn that while recording, isn't that crazy? While also not having nearly as big of a presence in China as it has in Europe, USA, and other places didn't help matters much either. So if we look at it this way, we could say that the rip-off Pokemon mobile games are just the modern version of bootleg Pokemon cartridges we used to see way back in the day. In short, the games just came from people that want, and will continue to try and get some quick bucks from Pokemon and many other IPs like Dragon Ball, Digimon, One Piece, even Pal World, what the fuck, or many others by abusing the lax nature of China's copyright laws. I think that about does it for consuming mobile game slop. That still outdoes official Pokemon games in terms of animations in some places, in some spots, for one day. Or for the rest of my eternity, in my case. Let me know your experiences with these type of games, or just your opinions on them in the comments. Besides thanking patrons for making my YouTube ventures a stable hobby, and passing that to existing and aspiring members too, I suggest you check my Twitter after me saying stay tuned for more.